Reaction is pouring in tonight over the state's settlement with the families of 3 people murdered in Gunnersville, allegedly by a parolee. Jimmy Spencer is charged with murdering Martha Relaford, Maria Martin, and 7-year-old Colton Lee. Their families will split $1 million from the state for the parole board's failures regarding Spencer's release and parole. Way 31's Brecken Terry shows us how Spencer's history as a career criminal still haunts a man in Franklin County.
This victim wants to remain anonymous because he still fears Jimmy Spencer could break out of prison. But he told me this further shows the incompetence of the parole board, and no amount of money will bring these 3 people back.
Totally disgusted in the approach the parole board has had about this at the very onset.
In 1989, this man shot Spencer for breaking into his Franklin County home. The crime was supposed to send Spencer to prison for life, but he was paroled. 6 months later, Spencer was arrested for the Gunnersville triple murders. Now the state is paying those victims' families $1 million, the most it can pay by law.
But you can't put a monetary value on people's lives. That's insulting almost.
He says what's more insulting is the parole board and its leadership still claim it did nothing wrong, even though the Way 31I team uncovered documents showing Spencer was violent in prison, was arrested after his parole, and his parole never revoked.
You can't justify the incompetence and failures of the parole board. There is no way to justify it.
We reached out to parole board chair Lynn Head about the settlement announced today. She told us, quote, "We are thankful to have been able to resolve this matter without the need for litigation, and hope this resolution can somehow lead to healing."
This is just a maneuver of the parole board to save face.
The attorney for the Gunnersville victims told the Way 31I team, quote, "It's a shame the law in Alabama only allows this amount for these families after what happened to their loved ones. The law needs to be changed so that victims are better protected." Changes to the parole board could be coming if the Senate passes a bill that would give the governor more power over the board, stop early paroles, and strengthen victim notification. This victim told us if the Senate doesn't pass the parole bill, failures will continue.
You're looking at a repetition of this. There'll be other criminals turned loose, and there'll be another crime of this sort that will be occurring. And what are you going to do then? Say, "I'm sorry"? Well, here's another $1 million. We don't need that.
The victim you just saw there told me he still wants to see parole board members removed. We have learned that the parole bill could go to the Senate floor next week. In Florence, Brecken Terry, Way 31 News.
Attorney General Steve Marshall, who knew 2 of the Gunnersville victims, recused himself from the case, but he did release this statement today. "Every time I think of what they suffered through, I get angry. I am angry, certainly at Jimmy O'Neal Spencer, but I am also angry that a process designed to protect the public from deviant criminals like Spencer utterly failed them, as well as little Colton." Over the course of the Way 31I team's investigation, we learned Spencer's Franklin County victim wasn't notified of the hearing in 2017 where he was granted parole. The board admitted that was their mistake. We also learned Spencer had several run-ins with the law after his release, even being arrested at one point on drug charges about a month before the triple murders. His parole officer never did anything about it. For all of our I-Team stories on the Spencer case and the parole board, you can head to our website, waytv.com, and click on the I-Team tab.